All right, let's dive into something really interesting today. We're going to look at an ancient spiritual path, but not as a bunch of rules or beliefs. Think of it more like a powerful operating system for your mind.
I mean, have you ever felt this? You try so hard to be a good person. Be more patient, more helpful. And at the end of the day, you're just exhausted. It's that classic self-improvement burnout. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is the software you're running?
Well, it turns out there's this ancient text, a sutra, that tackles this exact problem head-on. And it doesn't just give you a list of virtues to follow. No, it describes a whole framework, a self-sustaining, high-energy system that's literally designed to create positive impact without burning you out.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at what this Bodhisattva's operating system even is. Then, we'll get into its core engine, which is all about joyful energy. After that, we'll check out its intelligence systems and its bug-fixing tools. We'll see the ultimate architecture, and then, the best part, a guide to how you can start installing these upgrades yourself.
So, Section 1, the Bodhisattva's operating system. Now, before we go any farther, what does Bodhisattva even mean? In this context, just think of it as anyone who's deeply motivated by compassion, someone who wants to be their best self so they can help everyone around them. And the whole point of this OS isn't about having some fleeting moment of insight. It's about making that compassionate way of being your new default setting, a totally stable state.
And getting there, well, it's kind of like installing new software. It happens in 3 stages. First, you have that initial insight, that aha moment. That's like you're just entering the system for the first time. Then comes the hard part, the conscious practice. This is where it can feel a little clunky, you're actively running the new programs. But eventually, it just becomes normal. It's not something you do anymore, it's just who you are. It runs effortlessly in the background. Okay, so what's the power source for all this? The original text has this amazing phrase, joy in every thought. Now, hold on, I know what you're probably thinking. This isn't about being happy-clappy all the time. It's way more fundamental. It's like the system's core power supply.
Yeah, this is where we have to totally redefine joy. We're not talking about a fleeting emotion that depends on whether you had a good day. Systemic joy is the mind's baseline operational state. Think of it like a battery that is always at 100%. It never gets depleted. It's a state of being that is tireless, non-resistant. It's just pure, sustainable energy.
So let's really nail this down. On one hand, you have emotional happiness. That's the stuff we usually chase, right? It depends on things outside of us. Getting that promotion, someone saying something nice, it goes up and down. But systemic joy, that's totally different. It's self-generating. It's stable, it's high energy, and it is sustainable. That's the fuel this OS runs on.
But this OS isn't just a power plant. It's also super smart. You can think of it like a dynamic, adaptive AI that can process new information and, get this, it even has self-repair modules.
Okay, check out how its teaching AI works. It's a 3-step process for communicating. Step 1, the input. You really observe someone. You see what they need, not just what they're saying. Step 2, processing. You analyze where they're at, what they're actually capable of hearing and understanding right now. And step 3, the output. You give them the most effective, personalized guidance possible. It's not some one-size-fits-all advice. It's a custom-built response every single time.
So that's how the system deals with the world outside. But what about inside? I mean, no system is perfect, right? We all have our own internal bugs, those moments of anger or laziness or confusion that can just crash everything. How does the Bodhisattva OS deal with its own error messages?
And this, I think, is just brilliant. It takes these classical virtues, the paramitas or perfections, and reframes them as a super practical bug-fixing toolkit. So let's say you're feeling angry or irritated. Boom, that's a system bug. You run the patience module. And that isn't just about gritting your teeth and bearing it. It's a whole subroutine that helps you figure out the source of the problem and fix it. Feeling lazy or apathetic? You activate the diligence module. See? Every common mental bug has a specific repair tool to get the system back to running smoothly. All right, so we've got the core engine, that's systemic joy, and we've got the bug-fixing toolkit. Now let's zoom out and look at the whole thing, the ultimate architecture. The source text calls these the 10 great treasuries, and together they make up the complete OS.
And here it is, the full spec sheet. You can see the pieces we've already talked about, like diligence as the power source and patience as the anti-interference shield. But look at all the other layers. Generosity is the API for connecting with other people. Wisdom is the cognitive engine. Vows, that's your core drive and motivation. And power is your ability to actually get things done. You see, it's not just a philosophy, it's a completely integrated system designed for effective, compassionate action in the world.
Okay, this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how do we actually start installing this OS in our own minds? Let's move on to some real, practical steps you can start with, like today.
First things first, cultivate that power source. All day long, just start noticing your internal state. When you're doing something mundane like washing the dishes, instead of just rushing to get it done, can you feel the flow, the warmth of the water? That right there, that's a microdose of systemic joy. It's finding that non-resistant state in a simple task. The very first upgrade is just choosing that feeling of lightness and flow, even for a second.
Next up, let's upgrade that communication module. Think about the last time you gave someone advice. Maybe your default setting is to be super direct and logical. But what if your friend just needed you to listen, to just vent? Being adaptive means recognizing they don't need your logic module right now. They need your empathy module. It's all about meeting people exactly where they are, not where you think they should be.
Okay, this next one is huge for keeping the whole system stable. The idea is to act without attachment. That means you pour your best work into something, but you practice letting go of what happens next. You fall in love with the process, not the applause. You unhook yourself from needing a specific result or a pat on the back. You just do good work for its own sake.
And finally, let's define your vow system. A vague idea like, I want to be a good person is, well, it's a pretty weak motivator. You have to get specific. So instead of, I want to help lonely people, a real vow is, every Tuesday, I'm going to call one person I know who might be feeling isolated. See the difference? One is a wish. The other is like a command line you type directly into your OS. It gives your entire system a clear, powerful, and lasting purpose.
And really, it all comes down to this. When you get all these components working together, that joyful energy, the wise observation, the adaptive response, you stop trying to be a good person. You simply become one. Your whole way of being transforms into a system that's continuously operating for the benefit of others.
So, that leaves us with one last question. As you look at your own personal operating system right now, with all its quirks, its features, and its bugs, what's the one feature you're going to choose to upgrade today?